And we are still hearing from people who have been waiting for their unemployment payments since the spring. So why is this still such a nightmare for so many people here in Wisconsin?
Tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from someone on the inside. Here's Fox 6 investigator Amanda St. Hilaire.
It's now part of the typical news cycle, gearing up to tell yet another Wisconsin unemployment story.
I was calling every day.
I had to answer questions that I kind of misunderstood.
I'm waiting. I'm playing by the rules, and that's all you can do.
I get a hold of to get more answers and to get the money that I'm owed.
So what's different now? Well, it's been 7 months since the pandemic hit, and the state department in charge of unemployment has promised a bunch of changes, like hiring more people to process claims. So now we're on our way to see if those changes are actually working. Spoiler alert.
This is all verification.
People like Timothy Cook
I've not received not one payment.
say they're not.
I understand they're overwhelmed, but you can only understand for so long. And then it becomes a major problem because the bill collectors don't understand.
Timothy's claims are part of the more than 590,000 the state says are still being processed. Why so many? We asked people who work and have worked in the unemployment insurance division. We're not showing who they are because they weren't authorized to talk to journalists.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, and the very place that's supposed to be assisting is in a frenzy.
Most people they talked to accidentally answered a question wrong.
And I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, this issue, I can resolve this issue. But because it has to go through adjudication, there's nothing that I can do.
It's a big mess.
Employment attorney Victor Forberger says Wisconsin's system has too many places to trip up.
If, let's say, I have a back injury and I can only, under doctor's orders, can only work 20 hours a week right now, that's my full-time work. So I should be answering yes to being available full-time work.
But you wouldn't know that looking at the state's website. Another example, even when the governor waived the job search requirement, your claim was denied if you did not register for that job search you weren't going to do. Wisconsin hired more people to process claims.
Hiring hundreds of other people is not going to resolve the issue. It's going to actually create more.
But neither state lawmakers nor the department in charge of unemployment are rushing to make structural change.
One side of the spectrum wants to be defensive and pretend the problems don't exist, and another side wants those problems to not be fixed so they can campaign on them.
Wisconsin's system got confusing in an effort to prevent fraud.
You have my information.
Like the identity fraud someone tried to pull on Timothy's claim.
When I filed the claim, I noticed when I filed it, there was a company on there that I had never worked for.
But now,
I started to actually document a lot of it.
Even though Timothy keeps hearing his problem was resolved.
The imposter person, that's all been cleared up.
The system designed to prevent fraud.
He said, I have no record of it whatsoever. It's not in the system. I said, you got to be kidding me.
Is preventing the right person from getting paid.
What happens if you don't get this money soon?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. We could end up homeless.
And that's not even Timothy's biggest concern.
I was just recently diagnosed with congestive heart failure. My youngest son in another state was diagnosed with COVID. On top of everything else that is going on, it's just never ending. Peace of mind is really all, I really want in this situation. Hence why I reached out to you guys.
We can't write out Timothy's unemployment check, but we can tell his story. Making sure Wisconsin's unemployment struggles don't get lost in your typical news cycle. Amanda St. Hilaire, Fox 6 News.
The Department of Workforce Development is in charge of unemployment in Wisconsin. It just had a leadership change and is doing an internal review of its system. So you can expect to hear about new changes in the coming weeks, and you can read more about how our unemployment system got this way. That story's on our website, fox6now.com.